questions and asking kind of a code of conduct before we start. So be patient if there's a technical problem. So just wait until it's fixed. I'll help you with the discussion, but I'd be grateful if you could help me to chair as well. Ask your questions when the time comes for you to ask your questions, and I hope everyone enjoys. So I thought I would start with a personal anecdote of myself that is I remember it quite vividly. There's a big thing that happened in my life. So the day before we were about to go on holiday, me and my brother and my mum, we travelled to Bristol to a place called We the Curious, like a science centre. We went with a few friends as well. So before that, we went to eat food in a restaurant. So this is the day before we were about to go on holiday to Mallorca. And then my brother had his finger jammed in a door. So then we had to rush him to the hospital in Bristol, and he had to have an operation on his finger because it was not in a good situation at all. So we took him to the hospital. He has his operation, and the next day, with his cast and everything on his finger and his hand, we went to Mallorca. So he quite struggled a lot, but we kind of pulled through and we had a great time in Mallorca. So it just shows how something bad can always, you have to overcome obstacles in life. So it's just a personal anecdote myself, and I just thought that I'd like to share that with you. So now I'll ask a question, and if you want to put your hand up to answer the question, please feel free to answer. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, has anyone had any major obstacles in their life that they'd like to share with us today? Jeffrey?
Yeah, it's not a major obstacle as such. If I mentioned, I have Asperger's syndrome. It wasn't until about 2009 I realised I was actually diagnosed with it, but I've always had the feeling that I've been different in life. I just don't know. It's always tend to feel like I'm on the outside looking in, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, is there anything in your childhood that you had to overcome, like an obstacle?
Well, yes, as a child, I was also partially deaf.
Right, I see. Yeah. What was your favourite toy, and do you still have it? Any of them? Would you like to put your hand up to answer?
May I? Yeah. So, yeah, I had a favorite toy of mine, and when I was very small, my uncle gifted that to me. Yeah, I still have it, and that was a monkey. I still have it. I can show that to you. That is this one. It is this one.
Yeah.
Like, it's a monkey. It has a school bag. It wears a cap, and it has a shirt. So this was my favorite toy when I was small. I still have a picture of it with me.
How old were you when you got this toy?
I was maybe 1.5 or 2 years old when I got that.
Yeah.
So this is a picture of me with that.
Yeah. So do you have any fond memories with it? Your favorite toy?
Not actually. I don't have much specific memories with it, but yeah, I remember I used to play with it. I don't have specific memories, but I like to play with it.
Yeah. Any of the other children like to talk about their toy, or anyone else?
Yeah, sure. When I was little, I think about 3 years old, I had a human similar to human-sized monkey, a massive pet toy, and now I still have it, but now my brother plays.
Dr. Grace, would you like to talk about either your favorite toy or your favorite food when you were younger? Anyone?
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
yes.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. Yes. I grew up in Nigeria until my late teens, and my favorite food was and still is rice and Nigerian stew. I loved rice so much. I was in boarding school, my secondary school, but anytime I'm coming on holidays, my father will buy a bag of rice so I can have rice to eat. So I loved rice. I still love rice. Every day, if I don't eat rice, I'm not happy. Can you hear me? You can hear me?
Oh, we can. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you have anything else with the rice, like a Nigerian maybe curry or something like that?
Yes, we have Nigerian curry, which we make with mainly tomatoes. Mm-hmm. We blend the tomatoes with onions and cook it with meat or chicken or fish or whichever way you want it. So that is rice. We call that rice and stew. And we also have jollof rice, where you can make the tomato with meat and fry the onions and everything and put the rice inside it. So cook everything together, or cook the rice separately and make the stew separately. And
that's been passed down in the family, or is that
no way, no pasta, nothing. We didn't have what I would call foreign food. We had basic Nigerian diet of yams. You know yams?
Yeah.
You know yams. And we also have pounded fufu. I don't know whether you know fufu, pounded yam, which we eat with stew, different kinds of stews, with okra soup, or what we have, a goosey melon stew.
Yeah.
So we have that pounded food called fufu with this, apart from the rice. So we don't have pasta. We don't have all this fancy modern food then growing up.
Anyone else who'd like to? Any of the other adults who'd like to talk about favorite food when they were younger? Anyone else?
My favorite food when I was a child was rice and dal. When I was a child, basic Indian economy was not as it is today. So, as Dr. Grace said, that we did not have the luxury to have fancy food and every day, and chicken. If we have had once a week, we would think ourselves fortunate
Exactly.
that we have chicken once a week.
I think most of the younger people here will agree with me that I think we've eaten a lot more modern food and exotic foods from around the world, much more than the adults probably.
I had favorite food. It was not when I was very small. I didn't eat fast food too much. So my favorite food was from home. Was homemade too. So it was my favorite food. It was firstly, since I am an Indian. So firstly, it was puri. It's luchi in Bengali. So luchi and fried potatoes. So that my paternal grandma made. Not anyone else's, but which my paternal grandma made. I like those very much. And then one was that dal and fried lady's fingers and rice that my maternal grandma made. I loved those. When I went to their house, I loved to eat what she made. And whenever I went there, I always used to say, did I make that? Don't make anything else, just make that. So those were my favorite foods.
Roku, would you like to talk about your favorite food?
Sure. So when I was younger, and still now quite a lot, I like to have Maggi noodles. My mum makes them quite often for lunch because they're quite quick to make and they also taste very good. So I quite like to eat them now and again.
Yeah. Do you like fast food particularly?
I like it, but to be honest, I don't have it that often. I prefer to have like home cooked meals because I think it's much healthier than fast food.
Yeah. Okay. Giovanni, would you like to talk about your favorite food as well?
Yeah, similarly to any of our uncle, I like rice and dal. It's quite a comforting food. However, I also do really like pasta and all the types of pastas are very nice. Seafood pasta I particularly enjoy. I feel like it's something that brings me back to my roots because I'm also part Italian.
Anish, do you want to say anything?
I actually like modern food a bit more. Like my favorite food is still pasta. I remember as a young kid when I went to India annually, my favorite sweet would be something called kaju barfi, and I'd always ask my grandmother to either make it or buy it.
Yeah. I actually don't like Indian sweets. I'm not a fan of sweet food. So when a lot of people come up to me and say, have like this sweet, have that sweet, and I'll say no, and they'll be shocked at me. It's because I don't like Indian sweets. So yeah, I think.
Eat that much.
Anyone else? Any of the adults?
Okay, I'm saying that when I was growing up, I grew up in the 60s actually, and it was hard, difficult to get meat or chicken. This was once a week. It was a luxury to even eat chicken. So usually it's maybe lamb or goat meat, and mostly we lived beside the River Niger, and we buy fish, fresh fish or dried fish, and that's what our source of protein in those days. And we had other foodstuffs like plantain, and we had a lot of fruits like avocado, mangoes, guava, all these tropical fruits. So in a way, we didn't eat a lot of meat, but our meal was balanced, and we had, the necessary nutrients for children growing up. Christmas, because we are Christians, we celebrate Christmas when we really cook plenty of rice and plenty of meat and invite children, other church children, to come round, and we take food. My grandmother, who I spent quite some time with, will cook and send around the villages to give to the poorer people.
Okay, thank you, Grace.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone who has a favorite relative or a relative that was particularly special to them. So, Ruby, would you like to start with that?
Well, not really. I had quite a few aunties, I had a lot of aunties, and two favorites. I used to like to go to visit my aunties, my father's my father's sisters, and that's all I can say. I like my aunties,
Did you receive any advice or any guidance from your relatives when you were a child, which you still follow?
Oh, well, my mother died. My mother died when I was 11, and I was brought up in a foster home. And my foster mother was just like a mother, really. She was very good. The family were very good to me, and I used to do the cooking with her. She was a cook in a hospital, and she was a marvelous cook, and I learned all my cooking from her. And we used to do a lot of cooking together. And my favorite meal was in Britain, the Sunday roast. Sunday beef or chicken or lamb. We used to cook a Sunday roast together with gravy. And at Christmas time, to make about 5 different Christmas cakes for the family, for each family, And I love that. I love doing that. We used to start about in October to make the cake, and it was hard work, stirring up the ingredients and everything. But she used to make her own marzipan, and I helped her make the marzipan. And then in December, we used to decorate the cake, with icing, and then on top of the icing, we used to make a design, like a skating design or a pattern of some sort, a snow scene on top of the cake, and five cakes we made together, and they bring back very good memories to me at Christmas time, making the cakes,
Making the cake.
Yeah.
Good.
That was from my foster mother.
All right. Okay.
I cook a lot with my parents as well. So cooking's kind of like something that my parents and we can both kind of enjoy together. It's one of the only things really that we kind of enjoy doing together. So this cooking's kind of like a thing that, brings adults and children together as well. Quite a lot. So, Simacho, would you like to talk about any of your relatives?
Yes, I'm the friend of Mr. Anirban Mukherjee, more or less same age. Our
Yes.
fooding culture is same. We are Bengali. Fooding culture is same, but I mostly like non-veg. Till today, I mostly like non-veg food. Okay. In childhood, fooding culture that like Anirban Mukherjee, same as Anirban Mukherjee. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Would you like to talk about any of your relatives, like your parents, grandparents, siblings?
mine.
Yeah. Like, did you have like a favorite relative?
I have one brother and sister. I'm elder. One brother and sister. Grandmother died when I was young. Grandfather died in the year 1947 when India became freedom. Grandfather died. My father died in the year 216. Mother alive.
That's great. Thank you, Simachal. I mean, what Simachal said that during we are of the like a same like a time, same age group, same place, in a same state of India called West Bengal. And during our childhood, we had the similar situation. And homemade food, lots of homemade food, lots of homemade toys, and the relative as the friends. So it's quite similar between me and Simachal.
Okay. Would Jeffrey like to talk about his relatives? Jeffrey, would you like to? Or
Well, there isn't really much to say there. Sorry.
Okay, that's fine, Jeff. That's absolutely fine. What about your other young friends, Ayush, Raghu, Gio, and Anish?
okay. Would anyone like to talk about their relatives? Any of the children?
Yes. Can I? Can you?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Apart from my parents, I loved my maternal grandmother. My mother had only one sibling. And as an only daughter, every holidays, Easter holidays, because my father was a missionary, he traveled around the churches a lot. So, but every Easter holiday, my mother or my parents would send me to my maternal grandmother to spend time with her. And I loved her so much. I learned so much from her, cooking, how to do various things children do in the villages, how to make artificial baskets, artificial mat, how to use wet sand to clean the mud floor, how to go to the farm and back and pick yams and things from the farm. And she taught me to cook all the lovely Nigerian food that I know how to cook now. So she was an all-time favorite of my maternal grandmother.
Yeah. Could I ask something?
She taught you how to cook. Sorry, Ayush.
She taught me how to cook and how to make local things like mats, local mats and how to clean gourd, gourd, Gourd. You clean inside and you dry it and use it to store water. She taught me how to do all that. She taught me how to make little native clothes. She taught me a lot. I learned a lot from my grandmother.
Yeah. So, did you and your grandmother live near each other, or did you live quite far away from each other?
Quite far away.
Yeah.
Like I said, my parents traveled a lot around Nigeria. So it depended on where they were staying. Sometimes about 50 miles, sometimes about 200 miles. But because my mother was an only daughter, and I'm still an only daughter, she wanted that link with her mother, which benefited me a lot. There are a lot of things I do today that I learned from my grandmother. She was a fantastic woman. She never went to school, but she was a brilliant cook. She was a local midwife. She delivered babies. She was wonderful. She never went to school, but she taught herself a lot of things in those days.
A graduate from the School of Life.
That's it. She had a PhD from the School
She has
of Life.
a daughter graduate. She's a PhD from the School of Life.
That's it.
How wonderful. How wonderful.
Yes. Hello?
I was very lucky.
Yeah, Jeffrey, would you like to
Yes. When you said about relatives, I know this is going to sound name dropping a bit, but a few relatives I've had have had encounters with famous people.
Okay.
Yeah, for example, I had an aunt who lived next door to Peter Wyngarde. Some of you are probably too young to remember that, but he was Jason King in the television series Department S. Another aunt I had lived down the road from Rod Hull. Yes. My dad was at school with the lead singer of the Spencer Davis Group. My brother, when he was a toddler, encountered Eartha Kitt at an airport, and also a great aunt of mine worked as a secretary for Winston Churchill for a while.
Wow.
And actually, that same great aunt, she owned her own house, which in those days wasn't common for women.
Fantastic.
Anyone? Just
Yes,
want to-
I yes, surely I could. As Dr. Grace said, her favorite was her maternal grandmother. It's same for me here. My maternal grandmother, currently she is with me too. So she is my all-time favorite person on earth. Actually, she's currently retired school teacher, and she used when I was very small, like 1 month old or something. So she used to sing "Twinkle Twinkle" to me, and I used to look at her in such a vision that she tells me now that you used to look at me in such a way that you understood each and every word of that poem. And she says maybe you had some previous connections with me in pre-birth or something. And she is a great cook when our schools were offline. So she used to make my tiffin, and my tiffin was very famous in my school. So when my tiffin box opened, I had to run in the school yard so that nobody could steal my tiffin. Otherwise, my tiffin got looted every day. She is my all-time favorite person. We shared the same room, and I loved her so much that she and my grandfather passed away in 2018. My maternal grandfather. So they both loved me so much that they came here, and they built a house here, and then from then me, my mother, my father, and my maternal grandparents, we lived together because I missed them so much that when we came back from their house to my paternal house, grandparents' house, and I missed them so much that they were very sad to see me crying when I came back. So they decided that they would come here in Navadip, where I stay, and they would live with me. So currently they live with me, and uh, that so that's yet that's it. She is my favorite person.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Both of my grandmothers were also teachers, school teachers, like yours. And when I was before I was born, I think. Well, I can't remember exactly because I was very young. But one of my grandmothers, she came to the UK to see me, see me when I was born. So from a very young age, both of my grandparents have been with me since a very young age, since I was born to now. Sadly, both of my grandfathers have passed, but my grandmothers, we go to India. Used to go annually and we see them a lot, and they've been with me since I was born, and I have a good connection with them as well. So it's a similar case with both of us, I guess. Anyone else? Any of the younger? Anish, did you want to say anything? Because you did earlier. So you're on mute.
I'm sorry again. Similar to you, I also have my maternal grandmother came over to Britain when I was born. And my mum's sister also had another child who was born 13 days before me. So my grandfather stayed with him, and my grandmother came over to me. So basically, my connection is my maternal grandmother. So my cousin is obviously with my maternal grandfather.
Our childhood was very different from the children of today. I come from a large family, so my playmates were all my siblings. And we didn't have to go outside to look for the games or any other entertainment because we had enough friends all around me. That was my brothers and sisters. And at that time, we didn't have any gadgets like TV, AC, or heating. So we played outdoors a lot in the fields, also swimming in a. We had a large pond full of fishes. We used to swim there and also used to make boats and ride on that pond. Very very special thing I remember when early in the morning we used to get up. Our grandfather used to take all of us, maybe all of us means 10, 12 of us, with him for a big long walk. So we had to walk for like 2, 3 miles. And then at the end, as a gift, he will take us to a sweet shop and we'll have hot milk with jalebis. That was a big treat for us. And it is life today for the children is very different, was very different of what we had in our childhood.
Okay, so we've discussed the questions. What was your favorite food, and who was your favorite relative? Have you had any special relatives that mean something to you, or do you have any food that particularly that has impacted your childhood, or you really enjoyed to this day? Either of those questions.
The only thing comes to my mind immediately is that in our childhood there was steam engine.
Wow, yes.
And steam engine, if you look at all the old films everywhere, all over the world, steam engine, always the sound of steam engine and the mechanics of steam engine, when it's running, that was nicely used for all different films of different kind. So it had a big impact on children like us. And at that time, you used to play, brothers, sisters, and cousins, we used to play a game called Koo Jig Jig. Koo Jig Jig is the way, this steam engine used to move and with the making sound. So we all held each other's, back clothing, and we used to make a train-like thing, and we used to say Koo Jig 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 Jig. And the joy we used to get, that's inexplicable.
Any particular friends that meant something to you? Someone you spent a lot of time with, someone you've grown up with since you were a young person and still today? Anyone?
Yeah, may I say?
Yeah, sure.
When I was a small child, I wasn't very popular at school since I was very shy and very meek as a child. I wasn't very popular at school since I didn't grab the attention of teachers, nor the teachers, neither my friends. So I didn't have best friends or right then back then. I had friends like they used to talk to me. They shared notes and all. But after class 5, when I was in 5th grade, It was the first day of school of the starting of fifth grade, and on the fifth grade, from fifth grade in India, we up to fifth grade it's primary school, and then from sixth grade it's middle school. So from fifth grade only, we used to go to the on the first day of school. We used to have a common assembly in the hall of our school. I'm a student of convent school, so uh, our principal was sister, and the whole school was there from class 5 to class 10. So there we all were sitting, and after that, and the sister was asking a question, and I don't remember the question, but what I remember is from the whole bunch of students, from all the students, I was the one to answer the question. I answered the question, and sister appreciated me. So since then, I became a popular student in school. So my teachers favored me a lot. They loved me. A lot of my teachers, they guided me, and that's why I'm here right now. So, but being a popular student, I had to face the positive sides also and the negative sides also. So, like, I didn't have best friends in school. I had friends, a lot of friends, and still now I do. I don't have many friends now, but until eighth standard, I had a lot of friends, and now I don't have so many friends, but I have friends. And to be honest, if I want to say who are my best friends, I would say it's my mom and my maternal grandma. I always talk to them. I share everything, anything and everything with them. I am very comfortable with talking to them. So I would say they are my best friends.
Great, great. Thank you.
Is there anyone in your school? Is there anyone who's kind of you've been in a good relationship with since you were young?
Yeah, I not like it's not like I have been in a good relationship with any one single person since when I was young, but currently I have two close friends, and they both are very good to me.
Okay. Would anyone else like to talk about people close to them, like their friends? Anyone else?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, sure.
When I was young, I think about 1 or 2 years old, I went to a nursery where I met two friends that would become my best friends. I was with them from nursery to school, but then one went to Australia, one went to India, but I've kept touch with them through WhatsApp and all of the gadgets. So I do still have friends at my school and I hang out with them, but they have a better connection with those two friends than anybody else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Dr. Grace?
Yeah.
Like what's the young lady's name? Muse? Muse. Muse.
News.
Okay. Like her, like her, I didn't really have many friends growing up as a little girl because I was very close to my mother and my parents were very close. But then when I went to secondary school, I did make a friend and we're still in touch. She lives in London now. And then when I went to university, because I went to university in Nigeria, my first degree, I made a friend there, so we're still friends, and she lives in London. But growing up, because of the nature of my father's job, going from one church to another, maybe we're not one church 1 year, another one 2 years, so the movement was too much to actually stabilize and have a friend. But I was happy with my parents, and my mother was my best friend. Great, great.
Hi, my name is Subhash. Today, I'll tell you about my first schooling, which was in Delhi in India. When we were living there at the time, I was 4 years old. The name of the school was Ranur Pathshala, which was in a very well-known temple complex. the school provided a year of kindergarten, and after 2 years of schooling, after that, my brother would take me to the school. At the door of the classroom, we had to take our shoes off. Inside, there was no desk or a chair. We had to sit on the floor on a mat. Our notebooks was a A4 sized slate framed with the wood frame, of course, and we were taught by a teacher who she used to teach us from a blackboard on the wall. And the slate board we used to use as a notebook with the piece of chalk to write on. After the lessons, which were of course on alphabet, numbers, and handwriting, the first book was of course Bono Porichoy. Following the lessons, we had our tiffin, and after that was the playtime. The playtime, of course, was free for all. There was no supervising teacher there. And we used to bring our own equipment like balls or bats from home and organize the teams and play that way. That is the part I like most.
In 1950s and 60s, many schools had the provision of leaving your shoes at the door. So the students used to enter barefoot in the classroom, and they used to sit on the floor, and they were given a slate and a pencil to study. It's amazing. From one slate and one pencil, we had notebooks, and now we have like laptops or tablets. So we like a civilization progress from slate pencil to tablets. Just over to you, Ayush, please.
So on the topic of any friends, did anyone else want to talk about friends when they were younger? Anyone special like Giovanni or Roku? We haven't. Okay, yeah, Jeff. Right.
Well, the thing is, when I was a child, I didn't have friends, but that didn't bother me that much.
In school, I don't have one specific best friend. I have more of a group of friends that we all have similar interests, so we all stay together. And I think it's good to have healthy competition with them in school. And so, yeah, I don't really have one specific best friend, more of a range of people that I like to spend time with.
That's good. Yeah, very good. Vivek, do you want to share your thoughts about friendship?
Yes, I have friendship from my early childhood. Sadly, some of my friends, including my classmates, they are no more. Okay. But I have kept in touch, and they have also kept in touch with me for all these years. And we still speak to each other. And during my visits to Kolkata, I always see them. Only a very few handful.
Okay.
Some of my friends, they are no more.
What's the feeling you have?
Feeling was best described by the Tagore song "Purano Sei Diner Kotha."
Yes. Yeah. It's like a feeling of olden days.
Yeah, feeling of older days. The longing for older days, the sweet memories we had. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
I think we've been through all the questions now. So if anyone had wanted to share anything from their childhood, it could be from any topic, like a hobby you had, something you particularly enjoyed, a special event. So if anyone just start, if anyone wanted to talk about it.
When I was very small, I used to make sounds of different animals. I could make sounds of different animals, and that fascinated all of my relatives. Like my paternal grandmother, she was very fascinated. I could copy the sound of parrot. I could copy the sound of pigeons. I could meow like cats. I could bark like dogs. and I could do different things like that. And other than that, other than mimicry, I could even I like to dance. When I was very I wasn't taught dance when I was small, but later on I was classically taught in Kathak dance. I am actually a classical dancer. Recently, I paused my dance classes because I'm in 10th grade and I will be appearing for my board exams. So it will be a headache for me if I keep on doing dance. But when I was very small, I used to dance on any song which was played, and so everybody around me, they were like, put her into dance classes, she can improve. So my parents put me into dance classes. I had many teachers. I None of the for the previous teachers, they couldn't teach me well, but and lastly I found a teacher. She is a student of Rabindra Bharati of Calcutta. So she taught me in Kathak and Rabindra Nritya as well. So when I gave my first exam of dance, it is the just the a year below first year, so it's called Punya. And when I gave the exam, I didn't know anything. I gave the exam, and later on, I achieved a prize in that the board. The board is Meg Mollar board. It was Meg Mollar. So they according to my performance in that exam, they awarded me a prize in Kathak dance, and it was a state-wise prize. So I didn't even know I would get a prize, but I achieved a prize in classical dancing, and that was a very big achievement of my life, and I was very happy to achieve that.
Well done.
Very nice. Very nice.
So about a year ago or two before COVID, I still play trumpet. I used to play in the school band, and we would do concerts in whenever, like for example in Christmas, and I enjoyed that because I got to play with the people in my band. I think that was a nice experience, and sadly it stopped because of COVID, but I hope one day it starts up again.
So you miss playing trumpet in a school band?
Yeah, together with other people.
Yeah, yeah.
So my memories of childhood is going to school in a school bus, which used to come on the main road, which was quite a bit of a distance from our house. And my dad would go and drop me there every day. Now, he was a tall man, over 6 foot. And every day I just would feel I'm running to catch the school bus, because one of his strides was like 5 of mine. And I would complain to my mother that I don't want to go to the school bus with dad anymore because he makes me run every day, even though he promised me he was going at his slowest speed possible. At home, I used to play a lot. I used to love playing. I had my dolls, and I had a lovely set of wooden cooking utensils, and that was my favorite toy, I seem to remember, because I used to play hours with it with a friend of mine who lived in the same house on a different floor. We were renting at this time, and we used to get the vegetable peels from the kitchen and pretend we were cooking those. And my aunt, who used to live with us, when the food was cooked, would sometimes bring us small quantities, so we would put them in our toy plates and eat as if we have made the whole meal. And we used to love doing that. At home also, I remember as I was growing up and my siblings were born, we spent a lot of time playing board games. We played outside. When we went to Delhi, there used to be a lot of load shedding. That means power cuts during the summer months because of just the demand on power at that time. And to spend away time in the darkness when you can't do very much and it's very hot, we used to sing songs. For hours we would sing to keep ourselves entertained. And after the hot summer, when the rains came, we would love getting wet in the rain. That was an absolute joy. That smell of wet earth I can still smell today. When I was 12, then I went to USA totally different culture, different place, a lot of adjustment to do, and a bit scary because I didn't know anyone. But on the very first day when we went to this place in an apartment we lived, a girl my age came up and made friends with me. And I was very shy those days, but she was the most extroverted, friendly, loving person you can imagine. And she transformed my life. She was my best friend. We used to spend upwards of, I think 18 hours a day with each other, and we still would have something to talk about. And our parents used to say, what do you find to talk about? You spend every waking moment with each other, but we always did. So totally different, experience in a different country. So yeah, lots of fond memories of my childhood. And as I see today, I can see how much I valued the ones I had because I made lovely friends and who are still in my life today.
We'll ask all of you, give us your feedback. How did we all do today? And anyway, we can improve this session. We like to do it for the youngsters and to bring the youngsters closer to the elder people as an intergenerational effort project. And we from KIRAN, I am very thankful to all of you for coming and joining. Just one apologies from Neil, our young persons director. He went to England to support a group of athletes. So they are taking part from Wales in England in athletics. So he could not be present today, but he will be with us in our next initiatives. This forum is mainly driven by the youngsters. A quick fire round. What topic coming to your mind as a suitable topic for our next discussion? And I will ask one by one. Ayush, what topic we can have in our what topic you suggest?
To commend these young people today. They've done very well. I'm very impressed with them, especially the young lady. So well done. Keep it up. We'll keep encouraging you to do your best.
Thank you, Dr. Kerry. Grace is doing phenomenal work for Tamusri as our CEO. She wants to announce something.
Hi, Grace. Hi, everybody.
Hello, I can't see anybody. I wish I could see faces. All right. Hello.
Today's meeting. And I got a very big announcement for Grace, Dr. Grace Carey. We actually run a campaign to support Grace Carey's charity. And she's doing a phenomenal job throughout the years for so many years. And she's supporting children from Africa origin. And we have raised, we are also still waiting because a few bits of money is still coming. So I can't disclose the figure at the moment because it might go up a little bit. So finally on 14th of August, I'm going to meet Grace Carey for a tea, and we're going to hand over a letter where we were going to mention how much we're going to pay to Grace's charity. And the name of the charity is Gift of Grace. And we are so proud that Grace is our patron, and we are supporting Grace, and Grace is supporting KIRAN Cymru for so long. And wish you all the best, Grace, and we hope we will give you a good, handsome amount towards the good cause. I'm still waiting for the final figure, and it's still rolling. So hopefully I will put some more into the pocket, and then finally I will get the amount and I will hand over to you on 14th of August. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us. And thank you very much for all the good work, Grace, you have done and supporting KIRAN Cymru. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. I will pass it to Anirban.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure always.
Thank you.
Thank you ever so much for joining. We learned so much by talking to you. Each of the youngsters contributed immensely, and we hope to see you all again.
And I will also thank Ayush, okay?
So thank you, Ayush, for your wonderful work. You have done so well. Now it's up to you to close the meeting.
Thank you, Ayush, for your help and
you.
be with us. Thank you very much. We hope to see you again and hope to
request you to chair more meetings for us.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to everyone.
Okay.
And
thank you.
I really like hearing all of your stories, and I hope this could continue. So
thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Have a very good evening. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.